Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om. 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 Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thanks for sitting down with me for a few moments, bright ones. I'm Savi Ma from Illuminate Your Circle and lovingawareness.org. And it's time for us to check in. Time for us to check in with ourselves. Time for us to check in with each other. It's time for us to listen. It's time for us to witness. It's time for us to observe. All that surrounds us and all that is speaking and rising up within us. I opened this video, this Illuminate Your Energy Reset, our time together right now, with a mantra that I use pretty much every day. And this mantra is Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. And the reason that I use this mantra, maybe you have other mantras that you might use, English words, affirmations, any kind of words that offer support to your spirit, to your soul, to your heart, and call you home to that place of ever-presence, that place of amazing stillness and balance that exists within each and every one of us. In all ways, always. We may not always be tapped into that space within us, that state within us, but it is there, ever present. Ever presence within us is always available to us. And so for me, in my experience, what makes an enormous difference to how I feel, how centered I feel, how awake and aware I feel, how much clarity I have, how much bandwidth I feel like I have to deal with what is right in front of me. For me, mantras make all the difference in the world. And they might be Sanskrit mantras, like the one that I'm sharing with you right now, but sometimes they are in my own tongue, which is English. Whatever your heart language is, find an affirmation, find a mantra that invokes within you the state of your illuminature, the state of your ever-presence, the state of your inner authority, the state of your essence that helps you to feel the most balanced and the most empowered, the most in your true soul sovereignty that you possibly can. And if you point your attention toward this, looking for a particular mantra, a particular affirmation that you notice when you repeat it, it literally changes the physiology of your beingness. It calms and balances. You feel a soothing moving through the body. You even notice that when you repeat this mantra, whether it's aloud or across the mental mind, just repeating it over and over in your mind, when you do that, you start to notice that everything shifts from within first. You notice that your breath becomes more calm and more regulated. You notice that your breath is dropping deeper into the body, that your whole body is breathing, not just your upper chest where the breath starts to ride really high and the shoulders and the neck and the jaw are tense and the full exhale never comes. Mantra practice is a beautiful way to just help recenter and rebalance. One of the most amazing mantras that many of us use and we don't even realize that we're using it is a mantra like, I am okay. I am okay. I'm okay. And that's an interesting one because sometimes, and some of you listening may be even having a bit of a trigger twinge on this, is we're sort of taught to say, I am okay, when we're not okay. And then we have feelings that make us sometimes question, well, why should I say I'm okay if I'm not okay? So there's something that comes into the messaging here that's important for us to talk about. When we're not okay, it's not okay to say I'm okay to mask or cover up something that is more true and more authentic for you. To say I'm not okay is also something to be able to say and to be able to own and be okay with not being okay. There's tons of memes out there right now, right? It's okay to not be okay. And that's truth. That's 100% truth. It is so valid. And in the owning and in the naming and in the expression of it's okay to not be okay, then we're owning our feelings. We're owning our authentic moment. We're owning where we are right now in this moment. And from there, we can also choose what we want to do with the preciousness of that feeling and with the preciousness of that moment. And it doesn't mean that we have to switch it up and be okay in that moment, but it does mean that we can offer ourselves some medicine, some guidance, some self-nurturing care that will help us to move to the space within us that even though we have this feeling in our physical, emotional, mental experience, that which surrounds us right now, we have this feeling of maybe not being okay. But somewhere inside of us, no matter what that is creating that experience right now, inside of us, in always, this is a source promise. Inside of us is the state of balance, of ever-presence. And that state of ever-presence that lives within us in every single moment, no matter what is spinning in our experience that we are living at the moment, ever-presence is always vibrating from within us. And so if we can tap into the state of ever-presence, it's sort of like that's our equilibrium point. That's our 0 point. That is our balance point. That is what always brings us home to our true essence, to the sovereignty that lives and breathes within us in every moment. And the voice of that sovereignty will always be able to say, I am okay. I am okay. I am okay. And from this vibrational standpoint that we're sharing together within right now, can you hear the difference in that space, the resonating space that comes from ever-presence within us, the state of source nature, our true illuminature that is within us and always ever-presence. From that space, the voice the voice of our source nature, the voice of infinite intelligence. That voice is our strength. That voice is the wellspring that we can return to always, that is fully sustainable. And it is within us at all times, in all ways, never lost, never gone, never broken. We can feel broken. We can feel so sideways. We can feel so juxtaposed. We can feel all of the feelings that have us really agitated, amplified, elevated in a sense of, or even spun out in a sense of, I just don't know, fogginess. Where did the clarity go? I just don't even know what I feel. I don't know what to feel anymore. All the while that is operating in the experience of our lived beingness. At the very same time, one is not exclusive to the other. At the very same time, within us is the steady, calm, ever-presence, the voice of, I know who I am, I know who I am, I know who I am. That's another beautiful mantra to repeat. I know who I am. And the mental mind will come in and say, do you know who you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? And we can say to the mind, this is not yours. This is not your conversation. This conversation is coming from ever-presence within me, where there are no questions around these vibrational words that help me to feel the truth of who I am, even if I can't think of what that is right now. Even if I look around myself and I say, who am I? Do I know who I am? Go to the space of ever-presence within and listen. Listen to the waves that wash across the shore and clear and cleanse the mind space. And allow that vibration to literally uplift you. To literally, if we're floating on the ocean and the waves are coming, and they always come, when we use the resonance of the waves that are within us, inside this ever-presence, I know who I am, I know who I am, I know who I am. This creates, the words that are coming now is an ever-buoyancy. This creates the ability for us to ride the waves and not be crashed down and taken, swept into the undercurrent, but to be able to ride and rise along with every wave. It's a really powerful and magical experience, and it's also super simple. And sometimes we shy ourselves from the simplicity of things because we say, well, how could that possibly make that much difference? That seems ridiculous. Like there must be something bigger that I need to do. It must feel more challenging. It must be something hard and arduous that I must take myself through this journey, this dark journey of the soul in order to reach enlightenment, in order to see through. And the thing is, sometimes we make it so much more challenging than it needs to be. There are so many simple things that are available to us each and every day that if we just allow the simplicity of those things and actually put them into practice, feet on the ground, that in and of itself is a perfectly simple, most of us are doing it almost all of the time, but do it intentionally, do it with consciousness. Notice my feet are on the ground, therefore I am planted to the earth. I feel grounded. I feel rooted. I feel connected. This is brilliant. Every single moment, right now, as you're listening, what part of yourself is touching the ground beneath you in some way, shape, or form? Unless you have, and if you have, I want to know about this, unless you figured out the art of levitation and you have remembered that amazing technology that does exist, but most of us here in the earth plane don't know how to manage levitation, there's a part of you that is touching something that is grounded to something that is grounded to something that is grounded to something that is the earth. And therefore, you are grounding. You are planting yourself. You are rooting yourself. You're connected to Mama Earth energy beneath you. And that vibrational connection is medicine. This is the thing, sensitive souls. We, all of us together, we need to make ourselves aware of this medicine. We need to make ourselves aware of the simple things in life that we do all the time. That we just, yeah, of course, I'm walking, I'm connected, I'm standing on the earth. I'm sitting right now. The stool that I'm sitting in is planted to the floor beneath me, which is planted to the earth below. I am grounded, I am planted, I am rooted. These right here, those statements that were just said, so simple, but coming back to where we started this morning, they are perfect mantras to repeat if you're feeling at all spun out, if you're feeling too much chaos around you, you're just feeling like you're not even in your body. Recognize the parts of your body. Put your whole body on the ground if you need to. Another amazing medicine. Walk upon the earth. If you're inside of a building and you're on the 11th floor of a building, you are still grounded because there is a part of something beneath you that is grounded to the earth. The closer you can be to the earth and actually connect directly to it, yes, better medicine. But the thing is, our intention is super powerful medicine. So if we just tap into the idea, tap into this is not an idea, this is a truth. Tap into this truth that we are connected at all times because we are connected to Mama Earth, and that vibration helps us to feel grounded, helps us to feel connected, helps us to feel presence within us. That's what she vibrates for us. So we can literally become aware of where our body is grounded, planted, connected, beneath us, holding us. And we can say, I am planted, I am grounded, I am rooted, I feel connected, I feel grounded, I feel planted. And as you continue to repeat words that do have significance, these vibrations are real. Words are vibrational energy. And when we speak words so clearly, so powerfully in this way, with intention, it shifts how we feel. It shifts how we be. And our beingness is everything. And it's within us all the time. So I'm recognizing that the waves of messages have just flowed right through and everything is connected. And I'm recognizing that I didn't share exactly what Hari Om Tat Sat means. And at this point, maybe it doesn't matter because enough other beautiful messaging has flowed through, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm going to bring us back to Hari Om Tat Sat because it's one that really, really matters in my experience. And I would love to know what happens if you try it. This is one that no matter what is happening in the world that surrounds me, and there are plenty of challenges, plenty and plenty of challenges, small ones, big ones, hard ones, heart-wrenching ones. Challenges happen. We're in a human experience. That's real. So Hari Om Tat Sat for me is a mantra that just makes me completely own the moment and completely tap into ever-presence within me. And not only that, but helps me to allow the ever-blooming fullness of my true essence to continue to awaken and come into the moment of my lived experience. Now that's a lot of flowery words to basically say, Hari Om Tat Sat, I allow the true source awakening within me to be real. Hari Om Tat Sat, I allow my true nature. Hari Om Tat Sat, I embrace who I really am. Hari Om Tat Sat, who I really am is so much more than the moment, the looks as if reality that surrounds me. And I want to be that more. I am that more. Hari Om Tat Sat. I allow the fullness of my essence to be expressed through the beingness of this being body temple that I reside within. I can go on all day and allow the expressions of what Hari Om Tat Sat feels like inside of me. I want that experience for you. And I have no control over that, but I can certainly invite you toward it. And I can invite you toward the remembering for yourself. Find something that you remember that uplifts you so high that you feel completely unstoppable and completely limitless. Find that expansive feeling inside of you that couldn't be contained if you tried. And see if there are words that sort of evoke that feeling place inside of you, and use it. Use it. This is the thing, my beautiful, brilliant, light beings, souls, sensitive souls here and now on this planet with me. Stuff only works if we use it. Stuff only works if we use it. We can hear these things and we can have a one-time experience. We'd be like, wow, yeah, I really felt that. Like, I felt that. That was a felt experience. The plus in that is if you have a felt experience, that means it is in you. It's encoded in your beingness now. And it also means that it's a memory that you can tap back into. So if you've had an experience, that means that you can go to that experience and you can call it up. You go into the archives. Let's see, I remember when I had that experience where, man, I felt so elevated. I felt so uplifted. I felt so expansive. Like limitlessness was real. It was me. So you dial that back up and you're like, whew, wow, yeah, I can still tap that. I can feel that. Woo! And that's an amazing, amazing thing that we have available to us as human beings. We have this accessibility. The same accessibility applies that we can remember things that weren't quite so expansive and freeing, liberating, elevating. We also have ways that we can access in the archives things that aren't that for us. Things that are the opposite of that, depleting, desperating, challenging, devastating. Yep, we have that ability as well. And this is a full spectrum experience that we're having here as humans on this planet. It's all of the above. Limitlessness is real. And that means that it's all of it. But because it means it's all of it, it means that it is all accessible to us. So going back to, we have to remember the tools that we have available to us. Number one, we have to remember the tools that we have available to us. And number two, we have to use them. If we don't use them, what good are they? So this brings us pretty full circle, I feel. We're here to live this human experience alive. All of it, the full spectrum. And while we're living that full spectrum alive, we can remember the simple things that help us to feel soothed, that help us to feel true, that help us to feel connected, that help us to feel balanced. Today, our theme was around words, sounds, vibrational energy that comes out of our mouth in the way of words that we think across the mental mind, even if we don't speak them aloud, and how we can choose those words that really give us the experience of empowered sovereignty, that give ourselves a feeling of just feeling grounded, rooted, present, ever-presence within us, that voice that is within each and every one of us that we can tap into. So today it's about, what are your words? I want to know what your words are. Meet me in the comments, send me a message, and let me know, what are the words that you use that will bring you to the place where you know that it's the voice of ever-presence, source within you, that is talking with you, as you, through you, that help you to feel so shored up with the truth of who and what you really are. I want to hear your words. Maybe you have a mantra that you use. I'd love for you to share that with me. And it could be a mantra that's in Sanskrit or another language, but it could just be simple words like, I am okay. And that I am okay is resonating from the place of ever-presence, where that is the balanced state. I am grounded. I know who I am. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you itself is another amazing mantra. We'll save that for another time. Maybe next time we sit down to talk, we'll talk about gratitude, appreciation, and how thank you itself is a mantra. Until then, practice. Put these tools into practice. Use them. And first and foremost, listen. Listen to the sound of your breath. The sound of your breath will guide you to the state of ever-presence that exists within us at all times. And from there you will hear the voice that brings these words that make you feel like who you really are. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that it touched something in your heart. I hope that it inspired and just awakened and enlivened something in you. Hari Om Tat Sat is all about allowing the essence to awaken. So Hari Om Tat Sat. May we all know our awakenedness. May we all allow ourselves to awaken in the most powerful, magical, and beautiful ways, always, in all ways. Thank you for sitting with me. Thanks for receiving this flow of message and guidance that came through today. Thank you for allowing your Illuminature. I look forward to sitting down and connecting with you again very soon. I'm Savi from Illuminature Circle and lovingawareness.org. Be well, dear ones, be well. Hari Om Tat Sat.